Cop Blues, I've got your six. Well, you know, I gotta be honest with you. When this coronavirus thing first came out, I just was not sure. How much of it was true, how much of it wasn't true, just the craziness that surrounded it. I don't really think anybody really actually knew what the real legit deal was. Because, I gotta be honest, I'm not sure I believe any media anymore. It's all about spin these days. And when you have this plague, and that's what this is, it's a plague that's hit our country, that's hit our planet, then, you'd think that people would stop spitting spin on it and start putting out some true sage knowledge about, hey, this is what's going on. This is what you need to do to protect yourself. I remember when I was in school, the first time I was ever exposed to them talking about inoculations. And I believe the first thing I ever heard about was cowpox. I don't know if you know what cowpox were, but cowpox were something that they would give you a cowpox because if you got cowpox, you wouldn't get, I think, smallpox. And the newspapers of the day were putting out all these great cartoons about, people with like a hoof growing out of their head and all this kind of craziness. But the whole scientific knowledge of the time was that, hey, milkmaids had a tendency not to catch smallpox because they'd had cowpox. It gave them a natural immunity to it. And that's great. And of course, people at the time didn't understand that. And with the coronavirus vaccinations and things like that, because it's first come out and people don't really know what it's going to do, I think that there are some concerns. Now, we're not scientific experts here at copblue.com. I've got your six. We're not. So, and I'm not trying to be. But as a former police officer, what my suggestion is that we do everything that we can to protect ourselves from being exposed to the coronavirus. At this point in America, much like during Vietnam, when people talked about, well, how long is Vietnam going to go on? And I remember hearing this, not because I'm old enough to have been in Vietnam, because I'm not, but I do remember hearing my grandparents and my parents talk about this, that a lot of folks felt like until everyone in America knew someone who was either A, wounded in Vietnam or killed in Vietnam, that was going to continue to go on. And I heard someone echo that same story when they said, well, when do you think that we're really going to do an aggressive kind of full court press on this coronavirus thing? And that would be when everybody in our country knows someone directly or knows someone who's died of the coronavirus. And I think I know 1 out of 1 person in this room know someone, as a matter of fact, more than one person I know who has died of the coronavirus or who has been infected with the coronavirus and has had to deal with it. Folks, police officers, EMS folks, all you folks, take it seriously. Wear that flipping mask. Wear gloves. Wash your hands frequently. Do all those things those silly things that they tell you that you should have been doing to start with in the flu season and everything else. Because the whole fact of the matter is this coronavirus stuff, it's real and it will kill you. There is no doubt about it. Hopefully it doesn't. Hopefully you're healthy enough and well enough in your life and have taken care of yourself enough to where it's not. But there are a lot of people that aren't in such great health that are dying of it. There's entire nursing homes in our country that have been almost wiped out to a person with this coronavirus because older folks who don't have as robust a immune system are in fact dying from this and it's crazy and it's scary, and we need to continue to do everything we can to try and stamp this thing out. And not only should that terrify you, another thing that should terrify you is this, and that is there's a new strain, a new variant that's out there now. I think it came out of the UK, at least that's what I'm hearing. If you can believe the news reports, I'm not really sure what I believe that comes out of the news media anymore. I'm sure some of it's true. I'm sure there's a grain of truth in it somewhere, and not all of it, but some of it. So, we're probably fixing to head into a new season of this coronavirus, unfortunately. And it's terrifying, it's scary, and I'm not exactly sure what's going to happen. But I do know this. I know that regardless whether the coronavirus is out there, it's going to continue to mutate, and it's going to be here for, the next however long. Let me put it to you this way. Marcus Aurelius, at the end of one of his military campaigns, with one of his co-leaders, co-emperor of the time, were coming back from a huge military campaign that they just won. And it was kind of at the end of a decade-long plague in the Roman Empire at the time, where thousands and thousands of people had died. And what they did to remind themselves of their own mortality was they had two gladiators that stood behind them with the laurels just above their head, and they were whispering to them, "You're mortal. We are mortal. We are. And all of us, we're going to die. None of us are getting out of this alive. But we don't have to rush to meet our Maker either. We can do what we need to do to protect ourselves, and not only ourselves, but others that might not be as readily able to protect themselves from it because of a weakened immune system or some other kind of debilitating issue with their well-being." So officers, EMS workers, all of you, just, hey, take it seriously. We need to be out there. We need to be seen, because in troubling times, that's when you need to see your law enforcement officials. That's who you're going to call when things go bad. Those helpers are going to be there to help you, but we can't be there if we're not taking care of ourselves, if we're not well and healthy. So remember, the best thing you can do at the end of every day is to hit that clock and go home safe. Take care of yourself. Take care of your families. And remember, hey, when you're out there and you're wearing that mask and those gloves, not only are you protecting yourself, but you're protecting your family for what you might bring home to them. So thank you, and be careful out there.